I've been a gardener my whole life, and I'm a chef by trade.
Eating green is healthy for the body.
So what are you? Are you a Renaissance man? You're a chef, you're a gardener, you're a husband.
Inflation, depression, food prices are out of control.
Summertime, it's like I'm going to be in the garden anyway. I love being outside. I love being out there with nature. So it just made more sense to like...
Gardening and homestead might be the future if you want to live in peace.
Processing like pickles and hot sauces and harvesting the garden, getting ready for the next market. Very much a do-it-yourself kind of person. It's one of those, it's like, I like to learn. I like to know how to do everything. And when I learn...
Do you want to eat some good homemade pickles? Organic, not artificial added? Yes, you heard that right. This is my man Caleb. Caleb, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me your story about your business.
Okay, so we've been in business for about 2 years now, officially, doing the farmers markets. But I've been making cold processed soap for, I don't know, 5-6 years now. I've been a gardener my whole life, and I'm a chef by trade. So when it comes to the hot sauces, the pickles, everything like that, I'm pretty experienced with it, but this is our first couple of years getting out and doing it legitimate. Prior to that, it was just kind of like friends and family and everything like that.
So what are you? Are you a Renaissance man? You're a chef, you're a gardener, you're a husband, you're a father. How do you have time and balance all those things together?
Oh, man. Well, I've come to the conclusion that if you're passionate about something and you really want to make things work, you find the time. I mean, this is, I have a full-time chef job aside from all of this. But summertime, it's like I'm going to be in the garden anyway. I love being outside. I love being out there with nature. So it just made more sense to like scale it up, take my passion to other people, and to start taking my organic produce and sharing it with people that I care about. But it definitely is a balancing act. I mean, I full-time come straight from work on Tuesdays to like harvest the garden, farmers markets on Tuesdays. I've got 2 days off where I'm like making bread, processing like pickles and hot sauces, and harvesting the garden, getting ready for the next market. So it's definitely a little stressful, but luckily winter season is kind of a nice break because that's the off season for the garden and everything, which is nice.
Man, this is a lot of stuff you just shared. So let's break it down.
Oh, well, there's a good breakdown.
Because your booth, you have soap, you have seasoning, jalapenos, lime salt,
Seasoning salts, jams.
This is how it looks like. This is it. And soap, organic soap right here. And so this, I feel like you make a lot of stuff from a different angle. Why do you make soap and seasoning at the same time? Where does that come from?
So I've always been very much a do-it-yourself kind of person. It's one of those, it's like, I like to learn. I like to know how to do everything. And when I learn how to do something, I want to perfect it and kind of share it with everybody. So the soap actually started as a byproduct to my chef job. I actually recycle and upcycle wasted animal fat from my restaurant, and I bring it home. I render it clean, and I repurpose that into clean, cold processed soap. Working in the restaurant industry, you see so much stuff go to waste. Food prep, scraps, and everything else. And this is one of those things that I could repurpose and upcycle from what would be a waste product into something that is super nourishing, rich and organic, and just really good for the skin. On top of the fact, like, going back to the whole, why am I making soap and seasonings and everything else at the same time? When you garden and when you're have everything in season, there's always a shelf life to things. So finding a way to put up and preserve and keep everything while it's in season, because if you're taking the time to grow everything organic and make everything as nice as you can, you don't want to see that go to waste, right? So when I have the excess, cucumbers and the excess chilies and the extra squash and everything like that during the harvest season, I'm in here making the hot sauce. I'm making the seasoning salts out of those hot chilies. I'm taking the time to put up and preserve everything that I've taken all that time and effort to grow from scratch.
I see. I mean, that's like, this is what back in the old days they used to do, right?
Yep. And that's kind of why we went with the whole CNS homestead, because we get a lot of people nowadays that are like, they have that homesteady dream where they're like, oh, they want to like have the property and a couple animals and like, but I don't think they really understand how much actually goes into like doing a lot of stuff for yourself. It's like I make all my own bread from scratch. I grind my own grains. All the soap is cold processed. All the pickles, all the preserves are from scratch. Like I'm not buying like ingredients to blend into it. Like I'm growing the things and preserving the things. But it's a lot. Yeah.
That's, how did you learn those stuff? Can you tell me, did you, like your family taught you, you went to YouTube to learn those stuff? How did you learn those stuff?
So the gardening, I grew up third of six in a large Mormon family here in Utah. So we always had a garden growing up. My mom always cooked from scratch. So I always had my hands in the dirt at a young age. So I always had a passion for the growing of things, but especially with gardening and especially going truly organic, like it's been a trial and error. So the past 5-6 years, like I've done a lot of reading, I've done a lot of YouTubing, I've just kind of dove into the literature to kind of take what was a backyard garden operation into more of a small scale organic market garden, utilizing every space that I can, flipping beds mid-season to make sure that I don't have any wasted space, and just using any sort of professional techniques I can to kind of maximize what I can in a very, very small output. As per the soap, that was one of those that I was working farmers markets for a different company, and I was next to another soap vendor who was really passionate about his project, and he took me under his wing and let me go. Let's put it this way: he showed me how to make one batch of soap, and then that just took off from there. He showed me once, and then I was like, "Well, now I just have to make my own." You know, especially working in the restaurant industry and having access to so much high quality animal fat that would normally go to waste that I hate seeing happen. It was kind of one of those no brainers where it's like, well, I can make really, really nourishing soap for the skin while also keeping things out of the landfill.
Yeah, totally. I'm big into renewable, reusable. You know, anything we can recycle, and in my opinion, is good. And you keep talking about a garden. How much space do you have, man?
So in the terms of farming, it's very small. So we live right up the street here. We live in West Valley. Our entire plot is a fifth of an acre. That's the driveway. That's the house. My whole garden is probably 50 by, I'd say maybe like 80 feet. So I'm honestly only gardening a couple thousand square feet of actual like garden bed space. I just do everything I can to maximize as much as I can get out of the small space.
And with that small space, it seems like you know what you're doing. How much food can you produce?
Oh man, I mean, we're still small. I'm not taking on any crazy wholesale accounts or anything like that. But I mean, I'm consistently bringing through like the summertime. I'll bring, a good cooler's worth of summer squash all season long. I'll be bringing, 5 to 10 pounds of cherry tomatoes every week to the market. A few pounds of full size tomatoes. I'll be bringing, 50 to 60 sweet peppers every week, assorted boats of hot chilies. So like a few pounds of every variety that I grow, a few pounds of green beans. I'd say probably like a dozen bunches of carrots to every market that I go to. And it kind of depends on the seasonality, depending on front or back end of the season. But I mean, I try to get the full spread. So if it's springtime, I'm bringing, a dozen bunches of scallions to every market I go to, radishes, kale, baby greens. Whereas later in the season, I'll be bringing the full size onions instead of the scallions. But I mean, we usually do a double table booth like this in the summertime. We have the fridge for the preserves, but I basically have it full of assorted organic produce that I'm growing on a very small scale.
Whoa.
From scratch. I started off from seed.
From seed. Would you say, I feel like there's a big movement now for people to go homestead, to be self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. If something were to happen, do you feel like that's enough? You produce enough food to self-sufficient your family?
That's kind of the long-term goal. Is I work a regular full-time chef job, and that's what currently pays the bills. But this is like the passion project that one day I can kind of step back and make it my full-time job. Currently, where I'm at, because we just have the space of our backyard, even with maximizing outputs and, flipping beds and making sure that I have every square inch I have available in production at all times, I wouldn't quite be able to fully substitute my income. But if we move, we get like a full size acre instead of a fifth of an acre, or even rent someone else's yard that would provide me quarter acre, half acre space. Feasibly, yes, between the value added stuff that I make, like the pickles and the preserves and the soap and everything else, I could sustain my family with a full time income on what I do. I would just need a little more space than I currently have.
I see. Why do you? I know a lot of people, whenever they go to the supermarket now, they want to know where the tomato is coming from. They want to know where the cucumber is coming from. I feel like everybody want to have a garden. Why is that? Do you think people are just so tired of the garbage food they've been eating, and they're like, man, I don't want that in my body anymore?
I think it's twofold. People are becoming more educated with the information age and the internet and everything going on. People are learning more about what's actually been going on the last 50 to 100 years when it comes to industrial agriculture and what's truly been happening to our food system. People are becoming a little more aware of that and finding out how impractical and how damaging to the actual earth the large scale farming can be. But even more so nowadays, like people are like, oh, well, I buy organic from the grocery store. It's like people can now look up and find that, like, oh, sure, we bought organic from a massive commercial farm out of Canada that's shipping it, in plastic has all this transportation behind it, which is, burning fuel and costing people extra money. Simply nowadays, buying organic from the grocery store does not necessarily mean that you're getting a superior product. Just because someone's farming organically does not mean they're not still using the large scale industrial model, just with substituting organic inputs versus, non-organic inputs. You can still buy organic tomatoes. They're still going to taste like grocery store tomatoes. People truly understand the difference nowadays of like what an actual vine ripened, locally sourced piece of produce tastes like. You can taste the difference, Yeah,
the only difference I know is when I eat thick potatoes and real potatoes, there's a big difference.
Oh yeah. Nothing beats a fresh dug spud,
What's the future for the business, man?
Oh man. Well, she's getting excited over here. Well, as it stands, we've done some serious expansion just in the past 2 years of we're still wrapping our head around the learning curve. Last year was our first year doing markets with small kids and my full-time job. Last year, I didn't have any of the value-added stuff. I didn't start I still made the hot sauces, but it was kind of like a friends and family thing on the side. This year, we started adding all the pickles and the preserves and the hot sauces and things that I make myself as a chef. We started adding the bread, fresh baked sourdough with stone ground whole grains that I make myself from scratch. Starting with next year, we're going to have those from the get-go. I'm expanding the garden. I'm always convincing the lady to let me chip off a little more of the backyard into an extra row or two for grow space. With the gardening, it's constantly one of those, I keep watching blogs, I keep reading new material, I keep finding new inspirational books to read that kind of help me better manage the land itself, how to optimize production in a regenerative manner. So sure, you can use tons of organic compost, but this year we're putting in cover crops to add nitrogen to the soil and act as its own natural weed barrier. We're pulling more plastics out of our usage when it comes to the grow space. Everything we do for packaging, we try to go paper, recyclable, eco-friendly stickers and stuff like that, glass containers. But a lot of the times, even in organic farming, you see a lot of people still using lots of plastic. And I'll admit, this year we did use a lot of landscape fabric on one half of my garden because the morning glory was just out of control. Starting next year, we're going bio mulch, where I will grow my own ryegrass as a cover crop, terminate it and leave it in place and use it as its own organic, natural, biodegradable mulch. So we're just trying to do the best we can with the small space we have now to just stick to the true, organic, fresh, local theme that we have going, and just optimize everything we have at the space we have. And then hopefully within the next year, I can find maybe some more space close to home that someone's willing to rent me or contract me to where I can double the garden space and start producing on a scale where we can hit a bigger farmer's market or start taking on some wholesale accounts and start getting to that point where I can provide enough of a revenue stream through my passion of gardening to kind of start truly supplementing our livelihood. CSA boxes, yeah. Doing some crowdsourced stuff where it's like we get some of our clients that now that we've done 2 years of the markets, we have some people that are very excited about what we do. They've seen our garden, they know what we're doing. Getting some CSA boxes where we have a consistent box pickup every week, where it's just like an assorted produce box with an option to add on like a bar of soap or a loaf of bread, this, that, and the other, where through the market season, you can be guaranteed like every week assorted fresh vegetables at a reasonable price for pickup or delivery.
I like that. If people are watching this, they want to contact you. What's your website or Facebook page?
We are C&S Homestead, so C and S Homestead. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram. I mean, she's going to pull up a business card or something for you to take a snapshot of. But yeah, we're truly local. You can contact either of us. These are our cell phone numbers. And yeah, Facebook, Instagram, cell phone. We are local, and we were glad to answer questions. So when people like buy my hot sauce and like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. How can I get more? I had this happen the other week where we leave our phone number on everything. I had a lady call. They're like, my husband just finished this hot sauce. He literally cried when it was gone. When are you making more? And I was like, I'm actively making more. It has to ferment for a few more weeks, but I will call you directly when it's ready. So, I mean, when we were talking about, we're passionate about what we do. We're truly local. I grow everything organic. I want to be the face for the customers. Like, I want people to be able to come to me and know where their food's coming from, where their bar soap is like made, and how I can answer any questions about exactly what goes into everything that I make.
Thank you. If you want to eat some organic salsa that is not made in China, you know who to contact.
Yes.
Caleb, that's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Good luck with the business, okay?
No, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thanks for asking all the questions that I'm passionate about.
All right. Good luck this weekend.
No, thank you so much.